Lagos, Echo, the center of excellence. Whatever you call it or whatever part of Nigeria you live in, one truth stands. Lagos is the most important hub in the country. Yes, I know Abuja is the capital and some other cities may be up and coming and I want to argue with this position, but the track record is undeniable. The economic impact of the state is extraordinary. The infrastructure and investment it generates alone have made it the commercial capital of Nigeria and the most populous city in Africa. But we're not here to savor the meal. Instead, we're here to honor the chef. Or should I say chefs? The individuals that stood at the head of the ship and captained Lagos to where it is today. Think about it. Lagos didn't become this mega city overnight. Someone had to put in the work, or in this case, some people. Build the bridges, create the housing estates, and of course, figure out how to keep the traffic barely manageable. So today, we're diving deep into Lagos's history and the leaders who shaped it, from Jakande's low-cost housing estate to Sanwo-Olu's ambitious rail project. Oh, and yes, we'll answer the ultimate question. Who really built Lagos? Let's get into it. The first known people to settle in Lagos are the Yoruba group called the Awori. It was from them the name Eko originated. The leader was called Olofin. They established farmsteads all over the various islands, and this attracted more settlers. The Benin were one of those settlers, and after periods of conflict and struggles, the Benin Kingdom took control of the region and its trade in the 16th century. During this period, trade with the Europeans had started, and the Portuguese, who had established a strong base here, called it Lagos, meaning lakes. Eventually, Lagos became a prime location for the slave trade, and when it was abolished, the British set up a colony here. From this vantage point, they were able to establish control over the region and its trade. As a colony, Lagos was already so important to the British. It was made the capital of the south of Nigeria, and then all of Nigeria later by Lord Lugard. It stayed as the capital of Nigeria up until December 1991, when it was moved to Abuja. During this time, the British governors and administrators put up magnificent structures in the British-style architecture, and they helped to transition Lagos from a mere colonial outpost to a thriving metropolis. Some of these structures still stand till this day, like the Lagos Marina, the National Museum, Lagos Railway Terminus at Ebutemeta, the General Post Office Building, CMS Cathedral, the Lagos Supreme Court Building, King's College, Ikoyi Club, and the racecourse, now called the Tafawa Balewa Square, and so many more other developments that gave birth to the Lagos of today. But enough of the colonial era talk. Let's talk about the modern builders of Lagos, starting with the man who changed the city forever, Alhaji Lateef Jakande. Alhaji Lateef Jakande, who emerged as the first civilian governor of Lagos State, is one person that has written his name in the Hall of Fame of Lagos and even Nigerian politics. Baba Kekere, or LKJ as he was fondly called, set a high standard for governance in Lagos. His 4 years in office were nothing short of revolutionary, and his administration is still being praised for its policies and development of the state. The now deceased politician was a very close friend and associate of Awolowo, and it was Awolowo who encouraged him to run for the governorship of Lagos State in 1979, and he was victorious. But what exactly were his contributions, if you may ask? Jakande focused greatly on education, healthcare, and housing needs of Lagos State. Many of the policies he made in this regard were extremely beneficial to the low and medium income earners. For example, under his leadership, over 30,000 low-cost housing units were built in various estates in places like Surulere, Ikorodu, Badagry, Ekpe, Ijaye, Amuwo Dolphin Estate, Okeafa, and many more. Not only that, Jakande was also big on education, and not just for the wealthy, but for the low-income families. Construction of neighborhood primary and secondary schools became a regular activity for his administration, and to top it all up, he made it tuition free. Going into healthcare, In Jakande's era, the construction of the General Hospital in Bagada and Ikorodu and over 20 healthcare centers were completed. He even ventured further and founded the Lagos State University, and being a former journalist, he established the Lagos Television and Radio Lagos. In 1983, because of the burden of transportation in the state, he started the Metro Line project. But when the General Buhari regime seized power, that project was halted. Jakande's impact was seen in his desire to create much needed infrastructure in the state, from educational institutions, healthcare facilities, housing, and many more. He was also a man of the people because he didn't neglect the lower class, making sure to add them to his plans and ensure that all Lagosians enjoyed the benefits of the state. Because of his doggedness and selflessness, he was tagged the Action Governor, and his mark on the state still stands to this day in both physical structures and in our memories. Rest in peace, Baba Kekere. And now, onto our very own Jagaban, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos and now the president of Nigeria. He made some claims during his presidential campaign that he built Lagos, and the critics weren't having it.
What are you going to do different? Why should Nigerians be voting for you?
Because I'm different. I am Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I have governed Lagos. I've built a modern state that could be a country on its own. I've led an administration that is so prudent. From 600 million internally generated revenue to 5 billion a month. That's a record. Nobody else can brag about that.
Bold claims by anyone considering how big Lagos is and how important it is. But is it so far from the truth? You decide. Tinubu captained Lagos for 2 terms, starting in 1999, and his approach was simple. Draw enough interest from local and foreign investors and build infrastructure. This was what laid the foundation for the modern Lagos we see now. He set up new reforms, tax policies that greatly improved the revenue from the state. By establishing the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, his administration grew the state's purse from 600 million per month in 1999 to over 7 billion per month by the end of his tenure. And it was with this large purse that he was able to carry out some major developments of the state. For example, he initiated some key projects in the construction sector like the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway and the BRT system to help tackle transportation problems in the state. Lagos continued to grow rapidly, and with this, chaos came. Tinubu saw the need to maintain this order and set up agencies to carry out this all over Lagos State, starting from the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, to help bring in order of Lagos' extremely busy highways. LOMA, LASEPA, LWC, PUMAU, and others were there to tackle environmental challenges while also providing enjoyment to many residents. Tinubu's achievements were very significant, love him or hate him, because he had to also battle the federal government on some policies, like creating 37 additional local council development areas. He kept pushing and strategizing, inviting investors from all over the world to join him to build Lagos, and they heeded him for the most part.
We plan to have a private sector partnership, either BOT or BOO, in our infrastructure development. Need companies that are ready to invest in some of the highways and bridges and toll them. We need a huge interested party in telecommunication.
Partnering with investors like the Shaguri Group, AES, and so many more, Tinubu was able to build many incredible things in Lagos, from Eco Atlantic, Africa's own Dubai, to the Lekki Free Trade Zone, to upgrading Victoria Island access. It was clear that Tinubu wanted to keep Lagos' status as a prime real estate location in Nigeria and Africa at large. He made good use of the public-private partnership model, PPP, to encourage these investors to join him and develop infrastructure in Lagos. Important projects like the electrification of 53 rural communities and building an independent power producer. He made sure that Lagos became self-sustainable by decentralizing many government agencies, especially as the FG's version wasn't giving him what he wanted. All in all, you can say that Tinubu was a visionary. Say what you want, but his developments in the states are what gave him such strong disciples that made sure he became president in 2023. He became president in 2023. After all, it was popularly echoed, Tinubu built men.
Given the growth projections, can be planned to accommodate about 40 million people, and that's what we are working on. Much more effective use of our land, building upwards rather than sideways, planning and delivering infrastructure. At this point, we are planning Lagos into 8 independent towns that are located by infrastructure.
If Tinubu laid the foundation, Babajide Fashola built the superstructure. His administration transformed Lagos infrastructure. Fashola wasn't a new face in the Lagos political scene by any stretch of the imagination. When he came into the office in 2007, he had already served under Governor Tinubu as both Chief of Staff and Commissioner to the Governor's Office. So he was already a key member of the Tinubu administration and its success. But he didn't rest on his past achievements. He was determined to leave his own mark. He was also interested in developing infrastructure like his predecessor, and so he made sure to continue some very key projects and to rehabilitate others that had been neglected. When it came to transportation, some of his projects included introducing the BRT system, the reconstruction and expansion of major highways like the Lagos-Badagry Expressway and the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway in the state. He also began the construction of the Lagos Light Rail. These were to tackle the traffic problem and cater to the growing population of commuters in Lagos. He also took on land reclamation projects for areas like Banana Island and Eco Atlantic, 2 prime real estate locations that have brought international reclaim and attention, investments, and massive revenue to the state already. His administration was also interested in the aesthetics of Lagos, building parks and gardens to beautify and also remodel congested areas. Under his tenure too, over 100 rural projects were completed, from roads linking rural areas to electrification and water supply. The administration aims to cater for the outlying areas and villages and not just the city region. I think Fashola understood Tinubu well and also made sure that some of the projects he started didn't go to waste, so there was continuity in that regard. The end goal of continuing the modernization of Lagos was partly achieved. The impact of this project is still being felt by every Lagosian till today.
You've mentioned some of the challenges that you need to address here in Lagos State, but how are you setting your priorities?
Critically, just of recent few days past now, we've decided also to bring the cabinet members in to say that this is our focus. But with all the challenges that you have in Lagos and whatever amount of priorities, you can only choose the most important ones. I believe strongly that security, job opportunities, and then infrastructure. Those are the 3 critical things that I like to focus on.
Fashola's successor, Ambode, was an accountant by profession, and he, like Fashola, was also not a newcomer to the Lagos political scene. He had served as both treasurer and auditor at different local government offices from 1988 to 2001, permanent secretary of the State Ministry for Finance in 2005, and then Accountant General of Lagos from 2006 to 2012. That means that when the financial upheaval of the state happened, he was very much in the heat of things. And in his tenure as Accountant General, the state saw positive results when it came to finance. Although he had just 4 years as governor, he was able to make some notable additions to the infrastructure of the state and also bolstered revenue. Ambode completed his 114 roads project, where 2 good roads were completed in each of the 57 local councils. Many road reconstructions were done to reduce commute area times in places like Aja to Agulekpa. His flagship project, the Oshodi Transport Interchange, a world-class terminal that redefined public transportation in Lagos, was also delivered during his tenure. Now let's talk about one of the biggest moves that Ambode made as governor of Lagos, opening up the Ekpe axis with the creation of Alaro City. In January 2019, he launched his ambitious project as part of the Lekki Free Zone, and it was no small deal. Alaro City, a massive 2,000-hectare development built in partnership with Rendezvous, Africa's largest urban developer that has projects spanning 12,000 hectares across the continent, was the joint venture partner with the Lagos State government. Think of it as a mini city with everything: industrial hubs, offices, homes, schools, hospitals, hotels, and even 150 hectares of green spaces and parks. So an aside, if you're interested in getting property in Alaro City, you could contact me. What's really cool about Alaro City is that in this location, it's right along the Lekki Expressway, the only free zone that's along this Lekki axis, making it a getaway for international trade, connecting Lagos to the rest of Nigeria, just opposite the planned Lekki International Airport. Ambode wanted this to be more than just another fancy project. It was designed to create thousands of jobs, attract investors, and provide affordable housing for different income levels. With its strategic location along the Lekki Expressway and proximity to the Lekki Free Zone, Alaro City is set to become one of Lagos's most sought-after prime real estate destinations. Ambode didn't just stop at building Alaro City. He gave Ekpe a major facelift with upgraded roads like the Lagos Road and the Oloja Estate Road. These projects solved flooding issues and made the area safer, while also boosting business activity. In his tenure, Ekpe went from being overlooked to becoming a hotspot for development with major infrastructure projects along that axis.
The major achievements.
Meanwhile, you can imagine in 2 years' time what will happen to all these lands. People would have bought them.
Yes. The value has even gone up.
During his tenure, policy reforms took place too. The controversial land use charge was reduced to encourage more investors in properties. The Employment Trust Fund that was part of his manifesto when coming into office was disbursed, with over 6,000 residents receiving about 5 billion naira in total from the fund to establish businesses. The aim was to create 300,000 direct and 600,000 indirect jobs by 2019. Healthcare and education was not forgotten, with hundreds of rundown locations being renovated up to standard and to match the growing population. Ambode also laid the foundation for Lagos to become a smart city, with heavy investments into broadband expansion, technology services, and security.
In the last 3 years, Akinwumi Ambode's administration has constructed and rehabilitated more than 500 roads, construction of pedestrian bridges, lay-bys, slip roads, removal of unnecessary roundabouts, among others, have reduced mobility stress of residents.
2018, just as Ambode was campaigning for re-election, tensions escalated between him and the APC national leader, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What caused this? There were claims by party members of Ambode deviating from the party structure already in place. One such incident was when Ambode dumped the Lagos Private Sector Partnership (PSP) operators in charge of refuse collection and disposal for Visionscape, an environmental utility company. Those in charge of the PSP happened to be influential members of the party. Tinubu cowered, and Ambode's woes began. In response to the internal party challenges, Ambode held a press conference where he questioned the credibility of Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who Tinubu had now given his blessing, labeling him as unfit to govern Lagos. This was the very first person in Lagos that would kind of indirectly challenge Tinubu.
This particular aspirant, as you all know, you can go and check it, the records are there. This is somebody that has been arrested for spending fake American dollars in a nightclub in America, and he's been detained for months.
Despite his heroic and brave efforts, Ambode was unable to secure sufficient support within the APC and ultimately lost the party's gubernatorial ticket to Sanwo-Olu, leading to his inglorious exit after just a single term as governor. Although his term was not extended, Ambode was able to make good mark on the state's policies, revenue, and infrastructure. Like his predecessors, he also supported the Eco-Atlantic development and the protection of the coastal area. His approach encouraged more outside investments and caused the state to register some of its highest revenue numbers ever. Finally, we have Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is continuing the work of his predecessors while probably carving his own path. Sanwo-Olu's biggest achievements so far have been in the launch of the Lagos Blue Line rails, the city's first light rail system. He also acquired 10 trains for the Red Line rail project, which happens to be a game changer for transportation in Lagos. Major construction of both major and inner roads have also been going on all over the state. New roads, rehabilitation of old ones, empowering over 1,000 LASMA officials and introduction of new BRT stations, all in efforts concerted to improve traffic flow in the state.
Swiftly approve the procurement of 8 units of additional ferries to our existing fleet, which are locally built by Lagos-based companies, to make all our fleet 14 passenger boats and 1 cargo barge.
Lag Ferry has also seen significant improvements during Sanwo-Olu's tenure, with new boats added to the fleet, new locations opened, and over 200 jobs created to support water transportation in the state. Sanwo-Olu's administration has also created various poverty alleviation schemes and empowerment programs that have benefited thousands of Lagosians. Sanwo-Olu is also investing in healthcare with projects like the Mother and Child Hospitals and upgrading infrastructure across the city. The 4th Mainland Bridge is another ambitious project in the works, aiming to ease traffic for millions of Lagosians. With the Green Line and the Purple Line rail still at the level of expression of interest, Sanwo-Olu has aimed through his tenure to patch up infrastructure that has been neglected because of the rising population exponential in Lagos, trying also to use his tenure to complete long-term projects that his predecessors have started, and also ensuring that he meets up with the demand for millions of Lagosians when it comes to housing, security, infrastructure, health, and so on. We wish him Godspeed as he carries on. It is also vital to know that Lagos has had its fair share of military rule, with a total of 9 military governors taking charge of the state. In that time, there were also considerable developments and even upgrades to previously built structures. Some of these structures include the National Stadium at Surulere, Echo Bridge, upgrading the Kenya General Hospital, the old Secretariat building, and many others, ranging from new roads to renovations of neglected colonial buildings. Now, over to you. The big question still remains: who really built Lagos? The truth is, it's been a collective effort. From Jakande's housing revolution, to Tinubu's tax reforms, however unpopular in some quarters, to Fashola's infrastructure project, and on to Sanwo-Olu's rail projects. Each leader left a unique mark on this incredible city. You can see that each person has laid a foundation that actually helped the other person to succeed. Lagos has now become this mega city with so much potential, with wonderful locations and a great investment opportunity because of the building blocks that these leaders have laid. But let's not forget the people of Lagos, the entrepreneurs, the workers, the residents who bring life to every project, who pay their taxes in this city. An inglorious moment in Lagos's history happened in the 2023 elections, where individuals were marginalized and stopped from voting, and because of their supposed tribe, were told to go back to their states and go back to their region. This is wrong. We all have played a part. As far as you're a resident, you pay tax and you do business in Lagos, we all have played a part and have equal stake in the history and in the building of Lagos State. It's our Lagos. So, who can you say really built Lagos? Was it Jakande who laid the foundation of progress? Tinubu who fueled economic growth through collaboration? Or the relentless drive for modernization under Fashola, Ambode and Sanwo-Olu? The truth is, just like Rome, Lagos wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't built by one man. These men took risks, made investments, fought for the Lagos we see today. But we all as residents have had our parts to play to keep the torch blazing, honoring their hard work, contributing positively to the state. Like they say, Eko Oni Bajeo, may Lagos not spoil. If you're ready to own a piece of this incredible city, whether you're looking to invest or find your dream home, Lagos has something for everyone. Lagos is, after all, for everyone. Contact me today. Let's make your real estate dream a reality. Because in Lagos, the possibilities are endless. Thanks for watching. Kindly like, kindly share, kindly subscribe. Drop your thoughts below to let me know what you think about this topic. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like. See you next time. Bye-bye.